Wow, Jake Tapper, otherwise known as Fake Tapper, caught on camera in an interview cursing out the Democrat Party for going after him and his family. Watch this.
I went on a left-leaning podcast that shall remain nameless, and we were talking about my kids because I think they were both people without kids. And they asked me about my son, and I said he was, he's a football player and he wants to be a policeman. And their joke was about my 15-year-old son. Oh, how does he feel about minorities? Like the idea that he wants to be a policeman, therefore he's racist, my son. And that was the big laugh. And then I got dragged in the comments and all that stuff. And I thought to myself, this is why you fuckers are losing elections.
100%.
Like my football playing son, who has no political views. He's 15. He thinks about World War II and gaming and playing linebacker. That's his world. You're deciding he's a racist because he wants to be a cop. And why does he want to be a cop? He wants to be a cop because he wants to help people, and he thinks that's the best way he can help people. And that's how the Democratic Party talks to men, not just white men, but men. And I get the idea that they thought Tim Walz could what's the term he used, code switch or something. He thought that he could translate the Democratic Party values because he hunts and fishes and owns a gun and was in the army and drinks a beer. I mean, at least there was an attempt, but I find it just insane.
As the great John McClane said, welcome to the party, pal. You're just now figuring out that you're part of an absolute demonic, mindless, crazy, insane, mental asylum cult called the current state of the Democrat Party. This is like such disingenuousness from Fake Tapper. It's just unbelievable. The guy, I think, will literally do anything to sell books. Here's another clip right here where he explains how the Biden White House was able to sell the cheap fakes false narrative to the quote unquote gullible press, including the New York Times and the Washington Post. But what he fails to mention is that Jake, Fake Tapper, you were that gullible press. Watch.
The edit of not showing that he's actually walking towards something, a paratrooper, allowed the White House to successfully tell some reporters. I'm not defending the White House here. I just want people to understand. I'm not defending it, but I'm saying having that edit where it was allowed them to sell to Washington Post, New York Times, other newspapers, I believe those two papers, I might be wrong, but some mainstream organizations, the idea that these are cheap fakes. Now, I didn't think so, but I think that is part of the story of a gullible press, to the point that even White House people were telling Alex, I can't believe you bought it.
A lot of memes and what the White House is calling cheap fakes, which means that there are videos that are being put out on social media and then amplified on conservative media that in some cases are just not right, and in other cases are highly, highly misleading of President Biden.
The White House press secretary used the phrase cheap fakes, the idea of cheap fakes. Let me explain what that is to people. We've been worried for years about AI deep fakes, that computer generated images are going to trick people into believing something that's totally false. Cheap fakes are a little bit simpler. They're cheap. They're just distorted, out of context videos, chopped up in certain ways, constructed in certain ways. That's what we're seeing. That's what the Biden administration, the Biden campaign is so worried about right now. But make no mistake, they are worried about this. This is a real problem. This is not some made up fiction. The videos are oftentimes made up, but the problem is real.
It's so interesting how the timing of all this Fake Tapper world book tour now trying to, put off across America that he's some sort of competent, integrity, beholden reporter now who's after the truth and who's trying to humble himself and saying, we were wrong. We admit we're wrong. See, we're transparent. See, we're authentic. Too little, too late. I don't see how he can recover from this. I think he's seeing the writing on the wall. Jen Psaki's show is now being canceled from primetime. Rachel Maddow, a nutbag, joyless Reed, she got her show taken out. He's seeing the writing on the wall. A lot of these shows, MSNBC, the woke corporate media, they're seeing the worst ratings they've ever seen in over a decade. Here's another clip right here. I want you to watch this, which I just feel like it's now becoming the biggest clown show of all time. And he will literally do anything to sell books. Now he's actually going after Alvin Bragg and Letitia James. Watch this clip from the Stephen A. Show.
Look at the way I covered, the president, some of the trials of the president, I thought were, I think it is problematic when people run for prosecutor and promise to go after a specific politician. And both Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, and Alvin Bragg, the District Attorney of New York, both of them did that. And that, to me, is problematic because you're not saying this is the offense and we need to bring justice to this perpetrator. You're saying, I'm going to go after him. And I think that there was a degree to which that was tolerated by the media writ large. I mean, I did note it at the time, but and when Trump does the same thing, and he's the president, so it's also a different degree, people perceive it as more problematic.
I think this might be my favorite clip. Watch him squirm, fidget, shuffle, and adjust himself uncomfortably. I mean, this is awkward uncomfort at level 100 when he's trying to find a convincing answer for essentially just doing this book for money. Watch.
In terms of the left, it's a money grab. I mean, that's not the case. It's not. This is. I don't want to get into where my money comes from, but I'm. CNN is my main job, and that's where my main source of income by far. Very few people write books to make money. You write a book because you want to say something, you want to have a legacy, you want to uncover something, you have a message you want to get out there. I don't think people write books about Joe Biden to make money. We are gratified that people are buying this book.
That's a good point.
But I don't think, the idea that I would do this for money is it's silly and not true.
I look back at my coverage during the Biden years, and I did cover some of these issues, but not enough. I look back on it with humility.
And look, knowing what I know now, obviously, I feel tremendous humility about my coverage. That's correct, I didn't. And like I said, I feel humility about my coverage. But yeah, of course, I've said, I look back at my coverage with humility.
But it's impossible knowing then what I know now to not feel humility when I look back at my coverage.
There's a lot of regret. There's a lot of humility.
And looking back on that interview, which I feel tremendous humility about, our reporting suggests that she was correct. So I feel humility, tremendous humility
about my coverage.
If you're not following Western Lensman on X, go follow him. He's absolutely fantastic. Assuming it's a he. I think it's a he. I could be wrong about that. I have a really important question to ask you. Is this just absolute galactic incompetence, or was this a willful ignorance so to prevent President Trump from gaining any headway? We all know that the percentages of live stream media, the corporate woke propagandist media, the percentage of negativity for Trump was like 96 to 98%. For Musk, it's around the same percentage. For Kamala, it's like 98 to 97% positive news coverage. Was this willful? Was this intentional? Was this diabolical? Was this election interference? Does Fake Tapper deserve to be investigated? Do these woke corporate networks deserve to be investigated? Trump just denied the settlement by CBS for the lawsuit that he filed against them for doctoring that Kamala interview for 60 Minutes. If they're willing to pay so fast, is that not a self-admission of guilt? Or I don't know what, let me know. But I know this for a fact. There are elections, and then there are elections. What happened in 2024 was the most consequential election of my lifetime, maybe since the founding of our country. Most elections in my lifetime, agree or disagree, let me know in the comments down below. you know, your guy lost, your guy won, you know, there's the pendulum kind of shifts, Republican, Democrat, you still went on with your life. There was still a semblance of respect, decency, humility. Oh God, I used his word. But there was still a sense that America is still America. You want to talk about an inflection point. You want to talk about a major pivotal moment in history. America was headed down a path that was literally unrecognizable. The America that we would never, ever want for our kids, our grandkids, and our grandkids' grandkids is ad infinitum. And so if Trump hadn't won, and everything he's doing right now is what I voted for thrice, we would have saw and seen and be witnessing not a fake tapper humility tour, not the death of live stream media, not Elon Musk being able to provide the only platform where free speech still exists in America, as far as social media goes, with X. By the way, follow me on X. We would be witnessing an America that we would never, ever recognize and maybe causing irreparable harm where we can never go back. I truly mean that with every fiber of my being. And Fake Tapper and his fake news network had a huge hand. I've said this many, many times, and I'll say it again. I think without the hypocrite propaganda media, we wouldn't have such a rampant case of our citizens having derangement syndrome towards Trump, TDS. We wouldn't have attacks on Tesla dealerships. We wouldn't have these leftist lunatics attacking this, that, X, Y, Z, fomenting violence, increasing hate. I don't think Kamala Harris would have gotten a single vote if the truth was really told about her and this ruthless, demonic party called the current state of the Democrat Party. I affectionately referred to them as the hypocrites. So should Fake Tapper face an investigation and possibly criminal charges? I don't know. One thing's for sure, I think the hypocrisy is exposed. I think he is exposed. He's revealed for who he is. I don't think he's intelligent, but I definitely don't think he's stupid. And right now he's playing stupid, hoping that you and I believe him. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. You've been watching Nez Nation Live. I'm your host, Professor Nez. The mission here is to make common sense go viral. You can help us. I want the America that we grew up in, and I want to maintain that America for our kids, our grandkids, and our grandkids' grandkids. Tap that thumbs up if you are with us on this mission, which is a very simple mission. It's a very common sense mission. Tap that thumbs up right now. You can do it on your remote right there. Share this with everybody you know. Make sure you follow, subscribe. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. You can tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's free. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.